So fat loss is actually easy, and I can't lie, you are overcomplicating it. And the honest truth is that most people don't fail to lose fat because they are lazy. They've been sold the lies that you need to be doing so much, you need to be doing a lot of workouts, more cardio, more suffering, and still, there's still no results. The typical situation is that people are doing so much and they aren't even getting the results. And I'm here to tell you in this video that you can actually lose fat by doing less. I know it seems ironic. I know it almost seems like I'm clickbaiting you, but if I'm going to be honest, fat loss is easy once you understand these few principles. No time wasted. Let's run it. Let's go. All right, let me give you some game. Stick with me, stick with me, stick with me. This is actually the genuine lie that the fitness industry has pushed to your face and they want you to swallow it. But however, I'm going to actually debunk a few things and a few misconceptions. Let's go. A journey that's supposed to take you a year or two, I tend to realize that a lot of people have dragged out their fitness journey. Every single new year, you're telling yourself, this is the year I get jacked. Every new summer, you're telling yourself, this is the summer I get jacked. And that's just how it keeps on repeating over and over and over and over again. Here's the real reason you're actually stuck. You are inconsistent. That's the reason why you're actually stuck. Your approach is very unsustainable. You go all in, extreme efforts, max intensity, and the loop is when you go all in, you typically will then burn out. When you burn out, you then experience exhaustion, injury, mental fatigue. And this is typically something I've realized. Immediately after you burn out, the next step is then you fall off. When you fall off, you start missing your workouts, you start eating poorly, you go back to the exact same way. You are tired of putting in the effort, you're tired of doing every single thing that you've been told that was supposed to work. And you then restart. And honestly, this loop right here is a loop that I know that a lot of people have been stuck in. Go all in, burn out, fall off, restart. One more thing, this is the loop that actually destroys progress, as promised. Now, fat loss is not about doing more, it actually is about doing less and doing it consistently. The moment my physique changed and the moment I started getting clients' results was when I simplified the process. I always try and live by this acronym: keep it simple, stupid. KISS. So the extreme workouts, no, throw it away. The new workouts, the fancy ass diets, throw every single thing away. The moment you can optimize and make every single thing easy. The goal in this video is to make fat loss so simple that you can repeat the process over and over and over again. Make you never actually have to stop and restart your fitness journey time and time again. That was really the reason why I made this video. So the biggest thing would be creating a system. The reason why I'm emphasizing the system is a system simply means save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. Once you can get a system dialed in that you can repeat, I promise you, fat loss becomes easy. Stick with me, stick with me, stick with me still. If you want to lose fat and you also want to look good as well, you have one non-negotiable. You have to lift weights. So now the goal really would be breaking everything down with the fundamentals. You need to have these fundamentals dialed in. You have to lift weights. The reason why you have to lift weights is because when you lose fat and you don't lift weights, you're going to look flat. And that's not the goal. I know you guys want to look beautiful. You know you guys want to look aesthetic. So you need to be lifting weights always. Now, the next thing will then be to improve metabolism. Now, the interesting thing about lifting weights and also when you start losing more fat, which you're going to obtain with this video, is that when you are leaner, your body actually burns more calories at rest. And that's really the beautiful thing. So you're going to increase your metabolism as well. So that's what we're also going to optimize. We want you to get the physique that you always want. We want you to get that dream physique. Whatever your dream physique is, I don't know what your dream physique is. However, we want the priority will be to get you there. If you don't lift weights, I can't lie, when you lose the fat, you're going to look soft and mushy. You're going to look like that skinny fat. And we don't want none of that. This part, I have to emphasize it enough. Now, when I say you need to do less, recovery cannot be part of those less. You need to understand that your body does not change during training. It actually changes when you recover. So recovery is essential. I know you guys have been thinking of doing more workouts, doing more cardio, doing more everything, but you need your recovery dialed in. Now you understand that you need to be lifting weights, but you also need to understand that your recovery you also need to know that your recovery must be dialed in. So no overtraining. Instead of actually more workouts, instead of actually more workouts, better results. Actually, it's weirdly enough, ironic, it's the opposite. Sometimes you actually just need to dial in the workouts. You need to drop down the workouts. Some of you guys, what's so weird is that like I have a way better physique now, lifting 3 times a week than when I actually started in the gym and I was going 5 to 6 times a week. So we also need to make sure that this right here, your sleep is optimized. We do not play with sleep. When you literally cut off your sleep, you cut off your progress, you cut off the time your body is actually meant to repair. And we're not doing none of that. Except you can actually function optimally on lesser hours of sleep. We're not doing that cut in sleep. Another thing also would be reducing the stress. And reducing stress would really be fixed a lot when you have better sleep. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you ignore your recovery, you will slow down every single thing. In as much as you should be training smart, you should also be recovering very well. Unfortunately, this is the part that I know you guys don't want to hear. Calorie. I know you've heard this over and over again. Be in a caloric deficit. I know you've heard it time and time again. However, the mistake is that people go too aggressive. I know like you want to get the results ASAP, but now the problem is you are supposed to probably be on you checked calorie calculator and they tell you you're supposed to be on 800 calories, but you said nah. I know you want that result fast. Now you actually dial down your calories to 1,200. And the problem is that when you go too aggressive, you can't sustain it. The moment the 1,200 calories becomes difficult, for instance, that's really where you then crash, you quit, and you restart. And we don't want any of that. So the fix would be just eat slightly. If I'm going to be honest, I don't need you to track your calories. I don't need you to do that. However, I just want you to use calories. So what do I mean by use your calories? When I say use your calories, have just like the way I literally have this notes right here. Just write down everything you eat. Let's say you have 4 eggs every single day, or let's say you have just a smoothie every single time. I just want you to just write down everything you eat on a normal day, and from there we go slightly less and stay consistent. Keep it realistic. Maybe you've tried 1,800 down to like 1,200. We've done the big deficits. It's not giving you the results. The fix would be keep it small. Small deficits is compound. The problem is that you guys try and rush this thing way too much. And I know like when you rush this thing way too much, you then have food noise. You then start feeling like the diet is so restrictive. Like, no, I can't continue this. And the honest truth is that just take it step by step. That's really where every single thing starts making sense. As I said, the goal would be to do less, but you need to do it right. You don't need 7 workouts per week. You don't need endless cardio sessions. I remember being in the gym and I saw this woman pushing herself so hard. And I just looked and I was just like, if certain things don't fix, if she doesn't optimize certain things outside the gym, she's not going to get the results. So you also don't need endless cardio. You don't need a perfect diet 100% of the time. It's going to be very ironic how I say I've been eating nonsense typically on my weekends and I've stayed the same weight just because of the understanding of doing less. Now, you don't also need max effort every single day. However, here's what you do need. You do need 3 to 4 solid workouts weekly. As I said, there was a time period I was training 5 to 6 times. Now, 3 to 4 workouts every single week. You need your daily movements. This is so essential. You only spend probably 2 hours in the gym. You have a extra 12 to 16 hours outside of the gym. So you need your movements, you need your steps in. I cannot emphasize this enough. Like when you start moving more, your body grows. When you move, your body grows. Now you need a structured eating most days. Just have a very clear mental picture of what you're eating every single day. And finally, I cannot emphasize this consistency. Try and make it very easy. Make it as easy as possible. Stop doing more and actually just try and optimize the process of doing less, but doing it right. So, what will actually get you the physique and the body you want? What is going to get you the body you want? And I can speak from personal experiences the lifting consistently. Stick to the plan. Regardless, that 3 to 4 sessions that you're going to be hitting in the gym is a non negotiable. It does not matter whether there's a gun pointed to your head, whether there's COVID 30. It doesn't Nothing matters. Just make sure that you stick to that 3 to 4 workouts every time. This is what built my physique. Hit your protein, 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. You can have off days, but I'm not gonna lie, you do want the results fast. So I'm gonna tell you most times every single day. And a very simple hack I do is I mince my chicken. So I just add it to every single thing. So that's a simple hack. Stay in a small deficit, my guy. Stop doing the large jump. The large jump is making you have food noise. It's making you feel like the diet is very restricted. I think the point where I know that the deficit is wicked was when one of my clients complained about me that the only thing they're seeing now is calories. So I'm telling you, like, stay in a small deficit. You already have a mental picture of the calories you eat and you have every single day, the meals you have every single day, and try and just stay in a small deficit. And I cannot emphasize this. Make sure you're recovering properly. It's one thing to train, hit your protein, and stay in a small deficit. It's another thing for you to recover properly. Do this for weeks. I know you want the results like this, but one thing I would just tell you is that, like, just start winning every single day. Shift your mindset from wanting the results like this to actually just winning every single day, and watch how your body change. Watch how you won't have actually any reason to relapse and start again, and you're actually going to have the body you want. Honestly, I have given you a very simple system. I've broken down how fat loss can actually be simple. However, if you want a system that still is snugged literally to your lifestyle, like, I customize my workouts and every single thing to my clients. And I'm not gonna lie, if you want that on your training, on your nutrition, everything structured for you, I'm gonna tell you, you should book a call with the link. And I personally really love to hear from you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's the end of the video. I hope you actually got a lot of game, and thank you so much for the support. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you stay locked in. God bless. All love.